Welcome to Dukascopy TV with me, Alex Isaac. Ukraine has had its fair share of turmoil. Recent statistics suggest that the country isn't quite as positive as it's trying to portray. To take us through the real story behind the numbers is Yohay Elam, founder of Forex Crunch. How has the geopolitical tension actually affected the retail sector?
Well, the tension and the practical tariff of the country have certainly hit the retail sector. If we only look at the latest data for October, we see a rise of 4.1%, and also the previous month saw a rise of 3%. But, however, if we look at the year-on-year data, we see a big drop of 13.1% in October, following a 10.9% year-over-year in September. The big falls happened just before the pro-Russian President Yanukovych was ousted in February, and around the second phase of the crisis that was marked by the downing of MH17 on July 17th in the summer, earlier this year. All in all, the retail sector took a big hit, and it's because, of course, of the tear up of the eastern industrial part of the country, and also the fall of the currency, which has deemed too many important goods inaccessible for the average citizen.
Yohay, what everyone is desperate to know is, has the economy suffered more than reported?
It is safe to assume that the economy suffered more than reported. Ukraine does not rank very well in various transparency and corruption indices. While we can believe that most Ukrainians living in the territories that the government controls do support the government in Kiev, reporting in the West, the Western media leans towards the current regime, and data seen from there is not examined with enough grains of salt. So I believe that the standard living of the average Ukrainian has deteriorated quite rapidly, and it is masked by reports about the resilience of the people. Here's some official figures that aren't so impressive, and I think that the actual situation is worse. The annual growth rate stands at a contraction of 5.3%. Unemployment rate is officially under 10 at 8.6, and I believe it's higher. Industrial output fell by 16.3%. At least the interest rate, currently 14%, is lower than Russia's.
Finally, is there a chance that the future could be bright for the country?
I believe we're relatively close to the bottom, and for a variety of reasons. First and foremost, the collapse in the price of oil and the subsequent fall in the value of the Russian ruble is likely to bring Russia a little bit closer to the negotiation table. And on the other side, in Germany, Germany actually took quite an economic hit following the tensions with Ukraine and Russia, and it's beginning to cause a stir over there. I believe that the tough stance against Russia is set to soften, especially regarding Crimea. I believe that Germany is set to accept that Crimea will stay Russian. So the diffuse of the tensions between Ukraine and Russia is, of course, key to a bounce from the bottom. In addition, the measures that the IMF imposes on Ukraine will likely have an impact. It will take time, but structural reforms in Ukraine start from a very low base, so there is certainly room for improvement. We're not at the bottom quite yet. I believe that as we're just at the beginning of winter, we'll see more economic suffering before we begin climbing back in the spring, which is always a season of optimism.
Thanks for your time today. Keep watching Dukascopy TV for more news on the Ukrainian economy and the market as a whole. Until then, goodbye.